عفوا أخي.
يا مسلما أهوى ولا يهواني قلبي بكى متسائلا عن إخوة الإيمان. Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make authentic Zongo cocoa with ingredients 90% found abroad. So I have cloves, 3 tablespoons of cloves, about a tablespoon of this red spicy, I don't know the name in English, then 1.5 tablespoons of black pepper, then I have 4 pounds of millet flour, bajri flour, millet flour found in Indian shops. Then I have about 16 ounces of this tamarind paste, also found in Indian shops. All over abroad, there are Indian shops everywhere. Then I have about 7 dry pepper. This is actually from Africa, but you could just use the dry pepper in Caribbean shops and ShopRite or anywhere. Then I have some ginger. So with this recipe, actually, we're gonna be using everything with the ginger, meaning the whole ginger with the skin. But the main thing is to get all the dirt and the edges and the little corners, everything out, like scrape them out. But we're gonna be using the whole ginger with the skin, then chop into pieces and wash really well. So get all the dirty corners and the edges out, because we're using everything. We're not wasting nothing. And trust me, with the ginger, like us in the Zongo community, they use the skin and everything. In our shito recipes and our cocoa recipes, everything goes in there. Yeah. And this is actually organic ginger. So if you're using the regular ginger, you could add a little bit more. But the organic one tend to be very strong. So this is enough for like a 4-pound millet flour bag. The bag of 4-pound millet flour. Yeah, but if you're using the local one, they're very big and they're not really that much, like in terms of the smell and everything, the taste too. So you could use a little bit more. But it's always good to underdo it than overdo it with the spicy, because if it's too spicy, like if the spices is too much, it's become bitter. So now it's all washed. The ginger is all cleaned and washed. It's gonna be going into the blender. And I'm going to be adding like I don't even know, 2 cups of water. I'm sorry, African cuisines, and I know Caribbeans are the same. We don't measure. I'm sorry. We just guess and just, you know, we don't measure in terms of the water. But I try to, you know, give as much of the measurement as possible to make it easy for other people who would want to like do this recipe. So I added about, I believe, like 2 cups of water or more. I don't actually know. It's, you know, above there. I'm probably gonna be even adding more water. So now I'm gonna be blending till it's smooth, because I want to get as much of the juice out of the ginger. So blending. In the meantime, I'm going to be using my coffee grinder and grinding my dry spicy. This is the red spicy. I don't know the English name, but in Tree it's called a Wissa or Esro. The black pepper, one of it, those two. One is a Wissa, the other one is Esro Wissa. In house, so we call it Jenyaji and Mosorodo. And the cloves, it's Kanonfari. I don't know the tree name for it. And the regular black pepper, we call it Yajin, Lamuji. It's called Lamuji spicy. So now I'm gonna be grinding this in the dry coffee grinder. In the meantime, I'm soaking my tamarind in a bowl so it could start getting soaked and easy to process when I'm ready. You could use hot water for this if you want, or warm water. I normally, like when I'm cooking, I like to use cold water. I don't like to use hot water from the tap. But if you have hot water in the tea kettle, you could pour it in. So with this process, actually, You could skip this if you don't have a coffee grinder or a dry ingredient grinder. What you need to be doing is soaking all your dry ingredients in a bowl and cover it up. You could even leave it overnight if you want, or soak it for like few hours so it could be a little bit soft. Then you add it with the ginger and blend together. So I have the coffee grinder, so I tend to like to use it. Once I grind it and it's very smooth, then I pour it in my ginger and blend once more before I get ready to strain my juice out. And also, if you don't like too much spices, you could, reduce the measurements I'm giving a little bit, but don't add because you don't want too much spices. It will be bitter. And also, I am going to be adding the measurement to all these ingredients in the description below. And also, if you like what you're seeing and you would want to see more of these videos showing you how we in the Zogo community improvise our food here in abroad, don't forget to click the notification button and subscribe. So I'm blending my ginger and my dry ingredients together. So I'm getting ready to sieve. I like to use two strainers because I like the my juice very smooth with no particles and things. But if you have a very fine strainer, you could just do it once. But the tamarind, I'm working it with my hand to get it into a paste. For that, I'm going to use the bigger strainer because it's much easier to get out. So you want it into this form, consistent, this paste. It's ready, and I'm going to be setting it aside. That's the paste, the tamarind paste. Process with your hand. So this is the juice strain from the ginger and the spicy. That's the second straining. Yeah, I strain it twice because my strainer is not really fine, so I double do it. But with the tamarind, I'm going to be using the bigger strainer, so I'm rinsing and washing it out because I'm going to be straining into this. And with the tamarind, I just strain it once. Like I said, if you have a very fine strainer, you just need to strain once and that's it. You're good to go. So I'll pour that's my tamarind in there poured, and I'm working it in the juice to get as much of the tamarind paste out of it as possible. So yeah, I'm working it, shaking it to get it. That's how we do it in Africa. Yeah, I know how it feels to be abroad because we do miss our authentic native cuisines. But hey, here in abroad, we found a way to improvise most of our ingredients and the process because it's not the same. So for beginners, I would advise you use the egg whisk. You could use your hand. I sometimes use my hand, but for the purpose of the video, I'm going to be using the whisk to make it, less messier too. So I'm pouring the flour into the mix. You could pour little by little if you want, but I kind of did half and I poured the rest of it in because I wanted it quicker. So for beginner, you could just pour little by little, so it's much easier. And this is the 4-pound millet flour. So if you're using 2 pounds, just divide the measurement into 2, and if you're using a lesser quantity, just divide the ingredients proportionally. So it's actually thick, so I rinse the tamarind juice and I'm pouring it in to make it easier to mix because it's thicker and it's harder to mix. So yeah, I'm using the mixer, egg whisk, to mix it. If you really have a hand mixer, you could use it for this process. Actually, it will be just easier. Or if you want to use your hand, you could go ahead, just wash your hand and just use your hand to process. Because we want it to be very smooth. We're going to mix it till it's fine, smooth. Or the flour, it's well mixed into the juice. You need some strength though, if it's thicker. Yeah, so mix. Okay, so I added a little bit more water, mix. So I probably overdid it on the water, but that's fine here. Yeah, mix it. Now it's all ready. I'm just gonna be cleaning all over it and covering it up. And this stays outside for 2 to 3 days. In winter, 3 days. Yeah, but in a hot summer day, I just leave it out for like a day or a day and a half, and it will be fermented. That's fine, because in summer things get fermented quickly, rises quickly, everything. But in winter it takes very long, so I tend to leave it longer. And after that, I will just pour it into a container with a cover, and put it in the fridge. Sometimes if I have like a lot like this, I'll divide it into portions and freeze a portion of it. That way, you know, months later, if I'm ready for my cocoa, I'll just take it out and use it, rather than just leaving everything into the fridge. So this is a cover that's going to be staying out for 2 to 3 days, then go into a container. Thank you for watching. If you really like this content and you would want to see more of it, hit the notification bell and subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you.